Negotiation is such an essential piece of business as a whole. Now, I know a lot of you watch my channel are real estate agents, so you are in the service-based business side, but negotiation is also really important for product-based businesses as well. So no matter what kind of business that you are in, I'm gonna be breaking you down 5 different ways for you to improve your negotiation skills. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if we haven't met before, hi, my name is Carys and I create content on all things real estate, social media, and self-development. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss a video with me. All right, now if you want to learn different ways to improve your negotiation skills, then just keep on watching. So negotiation is the discussion in order to get to an agreement. That is the definition overall of what a negotiation is. So the first thing I want to talk about is active listening. Now, when you're in a negotiation with someone, you want to be the one in control. How do you do that? Number one being you want to be asking the questions. You want to spend time basically digging into what their standpoint is. So how do you do that? You ask questions, but not just questions. You ask open-ended questions. Those are questions that don't have the answer of yes or no. They're ones that are gonna pull out actual information. They're open-ended. So they can't just say a yes or no and move on. So when you are in a negotiation standpoint, you want to be asking as many questions as possible. The person who's asking the questions tend to be in control, and you want to be in control in the negotiation. So as you are asking your open-ended questions, you want to make sure that you're basically gathering your data. So dig into things, figure out what the needs, what the wants, what the concerns are, and keep going deeper, because most people, unless you keep asking and chipping away at it and asking those questions, they're going to give you short responses. So really dig into it in your gathering data stage and figure out what it is that their standpoint is that can make your standpoint stronger. Another piece of active listening that I believe helps with negotiation is your communication skills. I will always say that communication is the number one skill that you need to learn. In general, it just helps with everything in business and in life itself. But always remember, communication is not just the words you say. So when I'm talking about active listening, I'm not necessarily just talking about the words you're saying, because it's just a small piece of that communication of how important that is. The other things that really are essential are things like your body language, are things like your posture. So when you are negotiating with someone, you basically want to mirror and match their body language, mirror and match their tone, mirror and match the things that they are saying, specific words that they are saying. No, it's not being fake, it's being strategic. But if you're negotiating with someone and they suddenly fold their arms, wait a second, and then you fold your arms too. If their tone is on a lower level, don't go up all high-pitched and crazy. Bring it down, be on their level. Negotiate where they are. It's gonna help things align, and it's gonna help you be the one in control. People like people who are like them. End of story. It's just how it is. So if you can align yourself to be alike as much as possible with the person that you are negotiating with, that negotiation is likely gonna have a lot more successful of an outcome. The second thing for improving your negotiation skills is building your case. Now, when I say this, it kind of plays off the last point in the sense of you want to be asking a lot of questions, you want to be gathering data, but there's a lot of different things that will help build your case. Number one being the needs and the wants and the concerns. So this is for your standpoint, so whether it's directly from you or whether you are negotiating for a client, for a customer, and then you also want to understand the other person's as well. What do they want out of it? What are their concerns? And basically this is gonna help you, like I said, negotiation is an agreement. You wanna ideally make it a win-win situation for both people. So building your case, you're gonna be understanding from your perspective or your clients as well as theirs. The next thing is understanding what the deal breakers are. What are the non-negotiables that if this happens, then we could not move forward? So understanding, same thing for you or your client, what are those non-negotiables, and understanding theirs as well. That's a very big piece of the negotiation. Another piece of building your case is understanding what the objections are. Now these will kind of play a little bit off of what the deal breakers and things are. So talk about objections, and then you have statements. They're very different when it comes to negotiation. An objection is something like, I don't want to pay 6% commission, so-and-so said they do it for 5. will you do it for 5%? I'll hire you now. That's more of an objection. They're asking you basically, will you lower your price? Then a statement is basically someone saying, oh, I didn't realize it was gonna be 6% commission. That's a statement. That is not something you're gonna be like, okay, then I'll do it for 5. No, that's a statement. This was an objection. So really understanding the difference of the two, because you're gonna get likely objections from the other side or objections from the person that you are dealing with as well. So really take the time to unveil what that real objection is, and if it's an objection or if it's actually just a statement. So build as much of your case as possible on a solid foundation and not on opinions and not on emotions. That's when it tends to get rocky. Build it on objective data, on facts, and that will help have a solid case. Number 3 is a zone of possible agreement. So what this basically is how you make it a win-win situation for you and the other person. The zone is basically a range of options that would be acceptable to both parties. Win-win, everyone's happy, we move on. So basically, in order to improve your negotiation skills, if you can ideally do this before going into like whatever that negotiation is, but you want to understand what is that zone, so I know where we can fight from, where we can fight to. So once you understand what those options are, it's really going to help your negotiation skills because you've got that barrier. So usually what you want to do is while you're gathering data and you're pulling out that information, it's really going to help you figure out what that zone is. So for example, and yes, I'm going to make it around real estate, a buyer submits an offer for $450,000. The house is listed at $500,000. The zone of possible agreement is $450 to $500, unless you're in a crazy market and people are selling for way over, but typical. That is your zone of possible agreement. This is your range of options. So now you need to figure out basically in that negotiation piece where that's gonna lie at so that both people are fully happy and you can move on once you've negotiated. Number 4 is emotional intelligence. Now this is like, this can go deep. We can talk about this a lot, but what I want to really explain about what emotional intelligence is, it's the awareness of yourself and the other person's emotions and being understanding and recognizing it and then being in control of it. So one of the most important things to know is that self-awareness is key. So for example, if I am in a negotiation with someone and they are acting very, very loud, and very, very emotional, and very, very like over the top. I'm sure you guys have been in situations like this when you're trying to negotiate and they're being like really hysterical. What do? Being hysterical as well is only gonna escalate the whole situation. So what do? Your emotional intelligence is gonna tell you to be more calm. Empathize, I understand. Have more of that calming presence and don't let your emotions get into it because it's not going to help. Like we said in one of the points before, you want things to be not on opinions. Don't let it be subjective. You want it to be on facts and on data. Working on your emotional intelligence will also help just diffuse tense situations. Yes, sometimes it can be hard to be negotiating and not get really worked up on certain situations, but emotional intelligence is like any other skill. It can be learned and it can be something that you improve on, and it's really gonna help you in general with your negotiation just to stay calm, cool, and collected even when the other person's getting worked up. That allows you to continue to be in control of the situation. Have empathy. Understand the other person's point of view, understand their perspective. It's different from yours, which is why you are in a negotiation, but they believe that their point of view, their standpoint, their opinion is right. So in order for you to be in a mutual agreement to whatever that outcome may be, have empathy, understand, have self-awareness, and just stay calm, stay cool, stay collected. Even if they're getting worked up, it's gonna help you be able to be in control more so that you can get the outcome that you want because you are able to make proper decisions that are based on logic and not on emotion. Number 5 is know when to walk away. Can be very difficult, but it's important that you know what that limit is before you go into a negotiation. Whether it's you and the other person, or whether you are, like a lot of realtors on here, you are fighting for a client because we want to be as best service as possible for them, fight for their money like it's our own. If you're in that negotiation, you need to know what that limit is to know to the point like, all right, that's it, we're walking away. Because it can get you into really tricky situations that when emotions start running high, you're not able to make informed decisions. It's just science. When our emotion runs high, our cortisol goes up, our decision-making process is like down in the drain. So when emotions go high, we make worse decisions. Being able to go into a negotiation, like on the last point, you built your emotional intelligence, you're calm and collected no matter what happens, but also knowing when to walk away and what that limit is so important. An example for my realtors out there, you are representing a buyer and you get that inspection report back and you see there's 2 red items up on the top, not good. Then there's a couple of yellow items that are like also not good, but could also be fixed and negotiated. You know that you're going into this negotiation and you know at that point, because you've had the conversation with your buyer beforehand, what is that point that we are going to walk away from this and we're gonna say, nope, that's it, we're not gonna do this. So before you're going into it, know what that limit is that you are gonna be okay to be like, okay, that's it, we're walking away. And knowing those limits beforehand is gonna give you leverage to make those informed decisions when you are during that negotiation period. So whether you're a product-based business or service-based business, know what it is that you're like, okay, that's it, we're done, we're not moving forward anymore. And that right there will make you have that power and that control off the bat. At least you know now a couple of things that you can do to help your negotiation beforehand and during the negotiation as well, because it's really important to be prepared before negotiation and then also to do things during it to make sure that you are successful and get the outcome for you and for your client as well, or your customer, whoever you're fighting for. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.